One more go-around. It is for the boys' Division I, 1995 Ohio High School Athletic Association Basketball Championships. You've got it on Sports Channel. We come at you out of the Mecca, St. John Arena on the campus of Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. Can't get a better matchup. It features the regular season Division I AP champions, the Tigers of Cleveland Heights, against the perfect Blue Devils of Zanesville at 25-0. Nice to have you along, everybody. I'm Michael Regai. The big boys are going after this one, the finale in here, Division I. It has been 40 years since Zanesville won a state championship. That's right. 4 decades ago in 1955, they did it. They also won one back in 1926. The Cleveland Heights Tigers looking for their first state championship, but they've been to the semifinal round the last 3 years. Join me in saying hi to my telecast partner, Bill Needle. Bill, we've got 2 ball clubs, no stranger to St. John Arena, and yet in Cleveland Heights and Zanesville, 2 ball clubs, too, that maybe feel a little bit fortunate getting through the semis yesterday.
It was a little bit difficult for Cleveland Heights last night. They had their hands full with Springfield North, but a furious second-half rally came from 17 points down to make a spot in the finals, and Zanesville had to come from behind in order to win by 1 point to get their berth here in the finals.
Let's show you that graphically as we take a look at it. Bill just talked about it. Cleveland Heights, they had a big fourth quarter to come back and beat Springfield North by 8, and Zanesville knocked off the defending state champions Sean Stonerook and Westerville North. If you are aficionados of backcourt lead guard matchups, you're going to love this one. You will meet newly crowned Ohio's Mr. Basketball in Damon Stringer. Did he show up big in the semis?
Damon Stringer needed to show up big, and he did. He's been playing here on the floor at St. John every March for the last 3 years. This year, he made it to the finals with a great second-half effort. He's Mr. Basketball in the state of Ohio, but there's a good one for Zanesville.
No doubt about it. Damon Stringer's headed here to play for Randy Ayers at Ohio State, but don't discount Edwin Young of Zanesville. Hey, he's led this ball club to the perfect 25-0.
Yes, he is a second-team All-Ohio player. Now, he may not be playing here for Ohio State next year, but Zanesville is a young team, and Edwin Young may very well be back here at St. John's as a senior a year from now.
It's Division I, state championship on the line. The big schools go at it. Who will it be, Cleveland Heights or the undefeated Devils of Zanesville? That's what we're here to find out. Don't go away. We tip it off next on Sports Channel.
Domino's Pizza, not just pizza.
For a limited time at participating Domino's, order your pizza any way you want it. A medium is only $8.99. A large is only $10.99. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Order a pizza any way you want it, along with an order of buffalo wings, twisty bread, a salad, or a classic steak hoagie. Call Domino's today.
Domino's Pizza, not just pizza anymore.
The Bloomer Candy Company is churning out luscious chocolate Easter delicacies faster than Peter Cottontail can hop down the bunny trail. And they're all available now, even the traditional 2.5-pound Easter basket, at the Sweet Station, the Candy Basket, or your favorite local grocer. But hey, should you buy Bloomer's Delectables just to support your friends and neighbors in the local economy? No. Should you buy Bloomers because they're so darn cute? No. Should you buy them because they're delicious? You bet your Bloomers. The taste of sweet success from the Bloomer Candy Company since 1879.
If you don't believe road salt causes rust, watch. Because 2 to 4-year-old vehicles are rusting from it inside. Just like this. Now sure, you can wash salt off the outside, but in here calls for Z-Bart rust protection. To stop existing rust, prevent future rust. Z-Bart Tidy Car. For road salt, it's still us or rust.
Save on Z-Bart rust protection for cars up to 4 years old, just $279.95. We're in the white pages.
It's springtime at Kane Pontiac GMC Cadillac, so swing in a spring in a brand new 94 Pontiac Grand Am 4-door. It was $15,525, now just $13,295. Or swing in a spring in a brand new 94 Pontiac Transport SE. It was $22,771, now just $18,995. Or enjoy a more sporty spring in a new 94 Firebird. It was $18,205, now just $15,499. You can see them all now in Kane's showroom. So swing in a spring with a new 94 and great savings at Kane Pontiac GMC Cadillac, 17 South 3rd Street in Zanesville.
Number 22, Phil Lawson.
You're in for a treat. The state of Ohio is blessed to have the number 1 team in the final regular season poll at Cleveland Heights and the number 3 squad in Zanesville's Blue Devils matched up to decide a Division I state championship. Michael Regai, Bill Needle inside St. John Arena. Good to have you in touch on Sports Channel. Billy, we talked about both these ball clubs winning tight ones yesterday. You know, for Jim Capoletti of Cleveland Heights, who talked about a man that for a quarter of a century has been after these high school wars, and didn't happen for him in 1975. Maybe now he's got the opportunity some 20 years later to win it all.
Michael, at least they've got to the finals tonight against Zanesville. Had to wonder whether Cleveland Heights was ever going to be able to get out of that second bracket.
Let's take a look at where both these ball clubs come from around the state of Ohio. Billy, up in that Northeast District, obviously, near the city of Cleveland. For
Right
the
at the corner is Cedar and Lee, and Cleveland Heights is Cleveland Heights High School. Dr. Charles Shadow is the principal. Eric Stewart Vogel, their athletic director. 1975, Cleveland Heights and Jim Capoletti lose to Lyndon McKinley. In 93, they lose to Toledo St. John. Last year, it was state champion Westerville North.
We've got one more opportunity here in 1995. Zanesville, of course, a ball club I told you about in the Open. They win in 26, and then in 1955, and certainly finalists in 58. So this, too, their fourth appearance in their basketball history.
Michael, one last note, that state championship team of 1926, coached by Gail Van Orsdal, who then went to Cleveland Heights, stayed at Cleveland Heights from 1930 until 1963, the only man to coach longer at Cleveland Heights than Jim Capoletti.
Coach, a personal friend of yours back then.
You know what? He lived on the street behind us, Michael. Gail, I used to deliver papers to his house.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
The Heights Tigers, they survived a scare last night. They came from 17 down. Damon Stringer, Mr. Basketball here in the Buckeye State, keyed a furious fourth quarter rally. Zanesville with a big win over the defending state champs. Cleveland Heights on that forward wall. Keith Allen, a good one. He transferred from Benedictine. Averages better than 15 a contest. Theo Dixon, a super sophomore, matched up with another one, Seth Martin from Zanesville.
Seth Martin, 10 rebounds and 17 points a game. Seth Martin not shy either. He said, I want Sean Stonerook of Westerville North, and he got him last night.
Tonight's officials, Wendell Burbridge and Glenn Horner, the two that call this one out of St. John Arena on the Division I side. The lead guards are something to behold, as we talked about in Damon Stringer and Edwin Young. And watch this matchup of the 10th graders, the two multi-talented people in Seth Martin and Theo Dixon.
Scott Aaron Holt, product of the University of Oklahoma in his 5th year, 65 and 45 as the head coach of the Blue Devils, looking to make it 26-0. Actually, they lost the game this year to Lancaster. We'll tell you more about it as the game progresses.
Larry Moore in that center circle. Jumping it was Seth Martin. Opening tip in the hands of Jeremy Holmes. Cleveland Heights Tigers, they're in their gold, trimmed in the black. The Blue Devils of Zanesville in the white, trimmed in the blue.
A lot of people actually think that Mr. Basketball Damon Stringer does the point guard duties, but Jeremy Holmes has the ball a lot more than Stringer does for the Tigers.
Larry Moore had a look inside. The center for Heights couldn't get it to drop, so Zanesville with their first trip up the floor. Edwin Young, that lead guard that we talked about. Shade Galloway gave a look with Cedric Hall, and he'll bury that triple from deep.
The offense goes from the inside out. Cedric Hall spots up while the ball works inside. He drills a three.
Cedric Hall, one of the best three-point bombers on this club. Stringer's deep three won't fall, but look at the stick back go down from that talented, soft Theo Dixon, who had 21 and 8 boards last night.
Theo Dixon doesn't play the last 2 weeks, and Cleveland Heights is home for the holidays. He's the man, that's the reason why they're here.
Sensational in the regional final also. Galloway with that long three. Pounding inside is Big Davis. Houston got hit with a walk turnover on Zanesville.
You can see David Houston pump fake the ball up at the rim, knowing that the Heights Tigers like to block shots. Houston well coached. Let's see if he can get him up in the air, get him in foul trouble, and score as well. Jim Capoletti has won 368 games in 25 years as head coach at Cleveland Heights, looking for big 369.
Damon Stringer at 5'11", he and Jeremy Holmes in the backcourt. Stringer started as a freshman in this ball club. Heights Tigers 71 and 7 since he entered Capoletti's starting lineup.
They're matching up a 2-3 zone, Michael, are the Blue Devils. Cleveland Heights going to have to shoot well.
Sweet step inside Keith Allen. Didn't stay in the hole for him. David Houston picked off the bound. Martin wheeling. The sophomore didn't get it to fall. Zanesville by 1 at 3-2 early on. Stringer showed it, got indecisive and got hit with a walk.
Damon Stringer, Mr. Basketball in the state of Ohio last night. 24 points and 4 steals, keying the second half comeback over Springfield North.
Took a while for Mr. Basketball to heat up. He only wound up 8 of 27 from the floor. Shade Galloway looking down at the blocks. It's Seth Martin. Martin trying to operate inside. Offensive foul on Seth Martin.
Question was whether they were going to call traveling before they called the contact. Seth Martin made the turn on the baseline. Seth Martin gets whistled for a foul. He'll shuffle his feet, but he'll also create room with his upper body. Larry Moore a little bit slow on the baseline. There's the, he hit him before he traveled, Mike.
Turnover on the Blue Devils of Zanesville.
Still the matchup zone for Zanesville. Heights attacks it with a 1-3-1.
Jumper over the top out of the gun of Larry Moore. Didn't fall. Theo Dixon, stick back will go.
Theo Dixon is 15 years old, Michael. A little bit of time in the weight room and a little bit more help from Mother Nature. He's a big-time player by the time he's a senior.
Look at the quick hands of Damon Stringer. The Ohio State-bound Buckeye with the pick. Dixon lost at baseline, got it back. Stringer will load it up. Got it!
Getting off early for Damon Stringer is very important because when he doesn't, he has a tendency to try and do too much.
Jeremy Holmes on the steal. Got a kick ball down in that corner by Edwin Young. So that pressure, that unraveled Springfield last evening certainly now is early starting to hurt Zanesville.
Cleveland Heights playing with a lot more intensity and seriousness tonight.
Keith Allen never got it to the rack. Look at Theo Dixon. He's off big and strong. He's got 6 early.
Theo Dixon is a quick jumper. One of the reasons he's able to go so well on the offensive board. He gets up quick.
Cleveland Heights on an 8-0 run after Zanesville's Cedric Hall buried that first 3. Damon Stringer got hit with that Heights personal foul, his first.
Told you that Zanesville actually lost the game. In game 15, they lost in double overtime to Lancaster. Lancaster used an ineligible player, Michael. That look on the scoreboard, that game says Zanesville 2, Lancaster nothing. It was a forfeit.
They pitched a shutout.
Or else someone hit a 2-run homer, one or the other.
Bottom of the 9th to win it.
Got that right.
Look at Jeremy Holmes step out and reject the triple try from Edwin Young. Showing that jumper. Galloway, he'll bury it. Slade Galloway from 14.
He's a three-point threat as well. Good ball fake. Cleveland Heights likes to block shots to trigger their transition game.
Stringer. About a 25-foot triple he launched. Edwin Young. Tempo in this offense. This is Seth Martin. Fadeaway jumper off that black back plate and into the hands of Larry Moore.
Cleveland Heights decided edge on the board 7-4 thus far halfway through the first quarter.
Heights by 3 at 8-5. This is Jeremy Holmes. Keith Allen had to retrieve the Holmes misthrown pass, and then he got fouled by Slade Galloway.
Michael, it's difficult to say that an honorable mention all-state player like Keith Allen isn't getting enough credit. But if there's one man who's responsible for the tempo and the focus of Cleveland Heights, it's that senior, Keith Allen, 32 gold.
Dixon. Theo's had a huge start, but this time he lost control of the turnover, Cleveland Heights.
Cleveland Heights puts the pressure right on. They're going to go man right now. Look for the traps in the corners.
They made a living of this late second half last night to come away with a semifinal win. Edwin Young went down low. Martin pump faked it. Got Dixon in the air and then finished him off.
For a sophomore to score 24 points in the regional final like Martin did against Warren Harding says a lot. Theo Dixon isn't the only talented sophomore on this St. John Arena floor, Mike.
Jeremy Holmes gonna miss everything with that jumper from the baseline. Got a push inside and it is going to go either on Galloway or Seth Martin. We'll wait and see. Seth Martin that got hit on that personal foul. That's already 2 on Martin.
Cleveland Heights does a good job getting inside position on the offensive glass. Look at the top of the screen. Theo Dixon in position. Seth Martin over the top. Whistled for the personal.
Incoming the young man, Josh Olinger, who had a big defensive stance last night late, taking Sean Stonerook. Allen got in trouble. Stringer in the air. Put it down from 16 on that left baseline.
Stringer wants to work on his jump shot in order to succeed in the Big Ten. So far, it looks pretty good to me.
Stringer with 4, 10-7, Cleveland Heights by 3. We approach the 3-minute mark here in the first. Josh Olinger being double teamed. Cedric Hall. Edwin Young, did you see the quick step inside? Edwin Young going to get the roll his way.
Edwin Young crosses over into the paint. Good quick move by the All-Ohio second-teamer.
Heights by 1 at 10-9. Good to have you along here out of St. John Arena on Sports Channel. Michael Regat, Bill Needle. We've crowned 3 champions today. Who'll be number 4? This is Larry Moore. Stringer showed 3, then lifts it, laces it. Damon's off strong early.
Whatever problems he had last night, Damon Stringer has cured today.
Stringer with a strong beginning. Damon 3 of 5 from the floor. He got 6. Edwin Young, triple, clank it off that back iron. Larry Moore high up the elevator to grab that board. We'll go Cleveland Heights way.
Damon Stringer 8 for 27 last night from the floor, Michael. 4 out of 12 from the three-point range, and as you said, 3 out of 5 early on in the first period tonight.
Heights by 3. We go inside the 2-minute mark. Stringer goes tripling, left it short. Young on the push. Galloway. Knocked home his second 3.
We told you he was the three-point threat, and there you saw it. Slade Galloway called a foul on Cleveland Heights and Theo Dixon.
Dixon hit with a personal foul. We're all knotted up at 12 apiece. And Zanesville with an opportunity maybe to grab only their second lead of the night. They led it early at 3-0 on Cedric Hall's triple for head coach Scott Aaronholt. Heights match it up in their zone D as Edwin Young looks to probe it. Galloway unloading it. Josh Olinger pulled off the board. Edwin Young, nope. Olinger hard to the hole. Put it up too strong. Jeremy Holmes on the 3-on-1 run. Moore had to go up and corral that high handoff. We got a push inside, and it is going to go on Zanesville's Slade Galloway, his second.
Because Cleveland Heights plays so much on flow of the game and rhythm and momentum, they throw the lob pass probably a lot more often than a lot of coaches would like to see. They take the gamble that they're going to be able to get a resounding dunk and excite themselves and the crowd. Sometimes they miss the opportunity to score a basket.
Cleveland Heights' Chris Lee is checking in. Lee's a 6'6" senior. Larry Moore is going to get a blow on the bench of Jim Capoletti. Moore checking out the 6'4" senior. Keith Allen squeezes the trigger. Lee with a big board. Chris Hall on the push. Zanesville going to back it out now with 43 seconds left in this first quarter of play. Tied at 12 apiece. In the contest for Zanesville, Jerry Myers. Myers with the basketball. Zanesville looking like they may be content, as you see the floor spread, to try to get one to their liking to give them a lead to get out of here in the first quarter.
They'll run it down until there's just enough time for one offensive move to the basket and perhaps a tip in. Roughly 6 seconds when they make their move.
Cedric Hall with 7 in trouble. Young with 3. Got to get busy. They're never going to get it off. Never going to get it off with 4/10 left. Well, they took the air out of it, but they sure came up empty looking to find something inside.
Little criticism for clock management there. If they're going to run it down, make sure you get the last shot.
They weren't close to getting one up. That's going to expire the first quarter as Cleveland Heights defense doesn't allow Scott Aaronholt and Zanesville to get anything happening. 8 minutes down. We're tied at 12 apiece as we decide a Division I state championship on Sports Channel.
If you need auto glass replacement, call the name Car Dealers Trust. Jack Worstel & Sons Auto Glass. These local dealers demand the prompt quality auto glass replacement that Jack Worstel & Sons has provided to southeastern Ohio for nearly half a century. Don't demand anything less for your car. Jack Worstel & Sons provides prompt, one-day in-shop and mobile service guaranteed for the life of your car. So if you need auto glass replacement, call the name Car Dealers Trust. Jack Worstel & Sons Auto Glass.
This 30 Seconds of Excitement has been brought to you by Hoffer Buick Oldsmobile.
St. John Arena Electric here on this Saturday night that winds up the Ohio High School Athletic Association's 94-95 campaign, tied at 12 apiece. Cleveland Heights yet to trigger something successfully beyond the arc. Zanesville's hit a couple. Jerry Meyer's three wouldn't fall as we start the second quarter. Zanesville will keep it.
Cleveland Heights a little bit slow to the ball, Michael. They played the last game last night. Zanesville's had a little bit more rest than Cleveland Heights has had, only a couple of hours. Zanesville a little bit quicker to the ball.
Seth Martin never saw it. Theo Dixon on the steal. Holmes hard to the hole. Got it knocked out of his hand and out of bounds by Edwin Young. Will stay with Cleveland Heights.
Jeremy Holmes felt he drew a foul on that last play. We'll take a look and see if he did. Here comes Holmes, changes direction, heads the right way, and might have drawn one on the elbow.
Holmes, Damon Springer, Larry Moore is back. Keith Allen, Theo Dixon, same five that started it for Jim Capoletti. Allen with a step, glides off glass to knock it down.
A very controlled player is Keith Allen, not only from his days with Capoletti at Cleveland Heights, but with a fine program at Benedictine under Frank Novak.
Look at the trap. Allen stole it. Stringer put it in the air. Larry Moore now. Allen, the third attempt will go down. Keith Allen, two quick hoops.
Olympic beach volleyball by Cleveland Heights. Allen and Larry Moore, they can sky.
Cedric Hall running it back in the offensive end for Zanesville. Cleveland Heights with four quick ones, courtesy of Keith Allen. Tigers up by 4. Slade Galloway. Baseline. Olinger, reverse it, get it down.
He tore his ACL on January 20th, missed 9 games, did Josh Olinger. Inspirational player, senior leader on the Zanesville Blue Devils.
Neither ball club with anything more than a 4-point edge in this one. 16-14 Heights. Stringer tripling. Had it curl out on him. Edwin Young looking to push the floor for the Zanesville Blue Devils. Good dish, Seth Martin. The sophomore couldn't hang on. He had a chippy if he could have held the dish.
Edwin Young, a fine penetrator, and Seth Martin can run the floor. You see it down low. Seth Martin's there, a little bit too anxious to get it to the glass before he got it in his hands.
Hey, how about our Sports Channel camera staying strong down there under the hoop? You saw that basketball on lens. Solid job by the coaxial sports professionals all day long out of St. John, bringing you this run of division championship contest. Cleveland Heights with it and up 2. Larry Moore going to leave it on that front rim in the paint.
Michael, if Larry Moore hits those 8-foot turnaround jump shots, Cleveland Heights can start loading up the bus because he's getting the shots there. You wonder about position on the floor, but Larry Moore can certainly get the shots off. Now can he get them down?
Edwin Young trying to look over that Heights defense. Cedric Hall's triple not there. Martin had a stick back attempt. Didn't cash in. Edwin Young trying to save in that far baseline, running up the tunnel and halfway out of sight. Come on back, Edwin.
There he is.
Fine young athlete.
He decided to come back.
Getting back in the flow for us. Cleveland Heights, they've ripped off 25 straight wins since their opening night loss. You ask who? Well, you saw them win a Division II title here earlier. Villa Angela St. Joe beat them. Keith Allen, smooth with that lean in the paint. There's Larry Moore on the putback follow.
And that's what Larry Moore does best. Goes to the glass, offense and defensive rebounding.
18-14, Heights again by 4. Keith Allen had his hands on it. The Benedictine transfer and the third team All-Ohioan with the steal. Stringer on the crossover. Stringer in the air. Went glass and left it too short.
Zanesville doing a good job getting to loose balls.
Cedric Hall. David Houston again. David Houston missed 2 in tight.
Every possession is very important. Missed opportunities like this in the second quarter can come back to haunt you in the fourth.
Seth Martin missed 1 last trip. Then David Houston 2. Theo Dixon buries the 3. The sophomore continues to shoot it well.
I know about Mr. Inside and Mr. Outside, Michael. I just didn't think it was one person.
Theo Dixon's got 9. Cleveland Heights building their biggest lead of the night at 7. Galloway put it down, went tripling.
Slade Galloway, 6'2 senior, is the three-point man. Had only 3 points last night. He's been past that for a long while for Zanesville.
Stringer. Put that up from deep in the St. John corner. Theo Dixon, 1 opportunity. Larry Moore. Oh, the Tigers are relentless on the offensive glass.
Larry Moore and Theo Dixon, a pair of skywalkers.
Keith Allen, Jeremy Holmes banging on Edwin Young down on that baseline. That personal foul is going to go on Jeremy Holmes.
Cleveland Heights has made that subtle adjustment, Michael. When they take their zone offense against Zanesville, they put Keith Allen at the foul line where Larry Moore had been. Keith Allen can hit the jump shot that Larry Moore had been missing.
Moore started to bang that glass as he's got a couple of stickbacks to fall here in the second quarter. Heights balancing it out. Keith Allen with a couple of hoops and Theo Dixon's hit a 3. Their lead is ballooned to 6, 23-17. Trap pressure, Stringer getting help from Phil Lawson, who's checked in off Jim Capoletti's bench. Lawson trying to do the hounding. Seth Martin got the entry pass. Martin went to the hole, bucket with 1 coming to the line from the sophomore.
Sometimes post players are made and sometimes they're born. Take a look at the way Seth Martin uses his body. Chris Lee isn't near him. Chris Lee needs a roadmap to find him. Seth Martin to the glass, +1.
Seth Martin at the line for Zanesville.
Seth Martin with 4. He had 18 points and 3 boards last night. You see where he is from the free throw stripe on this 94-95 campaign. Complete that 3-point play. Did Seth Martin. That cuts this Cleveland Heights lead back to 5 at 25-20. 3:15 left first half of play. Phil Lawson. Heights doing a lot of inside out.
And a lot better ball movement than I've seen from them all year long as well.
Hold. Won't find it. Seth Martin went up big to grab that board. Slade Galloway for 3.
You don't let him stand there. He's 3 out of 4 from behind the arc, Michael. Without Slade Galloway's contribution, Zanesville would have a large hole to climb out of.
Galloway's got 11, 28-23. The Blue Devil Frog up and letting their ball club know they appreciate it. Chris Lee going to get hit with a travel. Well, Jim Capoletti went to his bench and got Chris Lee off and Phil Lawson off. That's going to end as Larry Moore and Keith Allen check right back in.
Zanesville's done a good job of scouting Cleveland Heights. They know which players they can play off of. They know which players they have to measure a lot more closely. There's Keith Allen, one of the players that Zanesville had better measure pretty closely.
A scoreboard malfunction here at St. John. We are all tied up at 23 apiece. Heights had been on an 8-0 run.
The gentleman in the tie and jacket is Lloyd Franklin, who led the Cleveland Heights Tigers down to St. John in 1975, only to finish second. Until this year, he was Cleveland Heights' all-time leading scorer. And Michael, you know who broke the all-time record held by Lloyd Franklin.
Got to be Mr. Basketball.
You are correct, sir.
Who just caused the steal. Strong move to the hole, Larry Moore. Yeah, you can book that with 1 coming from the Heights line.
Larry Moore, a type of player that every team needs. Look at the body control. The jumping is impressive, but the body control to remain under control and get a good soft kiss off the glass. A measure of Larry Moore's ability. Good look at the 6'4 senior.
Larry Moore's got all 6 of his points here in the second quarter. make it 7 for Larry Moore. He only averages 8 on the year, had 6 points and 5 boards last night, so already was 7 here in the second. Cedric Hall got raked around a little bit by Damon Stringer, and that is going to be Damon Stringer's second personal foul. Or did they get Theo Dixon instead? They put up 34 instead of 24, so Theo got hit with a personal foul. They were both there grasping away at Cedric Hall. Scoreboard is now correct. Heights by 3 at 26-23. That entry pass from Slade Galloway never got down on the blocks to Josh Olinger. Turnover, Zanesville.
Cleveland Heights anticipating the entry pass very well that time.
Stringer through traffic, floating, finishing it off.
Goal by Damon Stringer.
Damon with 8. Lead is now at 5, 28-23. Edwin Young rolled it home.
Coast to coast for the All-Stater. Great play by Young.
Stringer gonna rise up. Larry Moore skies and drops it down.
Anybody gets up like that, Michael, better give you frequent flyer miles, I'll tell you.
You talked about Larry Moore with his looks, and if he could finish, he's finished 9 points worth here in the second. Seth Martin, won't drop for him. Larry Moore yanked it off. Heights by 5, minute and 10 now left in the first half of play. 30-25, the Tigers of Cleveland Heights. They're going to win their first state championship under Jim Capoletti, 25 years. Holmes. Apparently he wanted to put the lob up to Keith Allen. I can't believe that Jeremy was firing that 3 toward the hoop. Holmes and Keith Allen nowhere near on the same page. Well, Zanesville pulled it out to end the first quarter, came up empty. Let's see if they take a little bit better care of it this time. They've got 30 seconds to burn, as you could see. Seth Martin in trouble baseline. Brian Young will reset it. Edwin Young. Young going to it with 8. Crossing over in the paint. Good drop down to Seth Martin, who goes glass to finish.
He's not flashy, but he's subtle and he's sweet as Edwin Young.
Stringer from 47 went glass, got some rack, but that's about it. Good first 16 minutes. Cleveland Heights by 3 at 30-27.
Look how subtle the moves are from Edwin Young. Doesn't show a lot of flash and dash, but knows exactly where his teammates are at all times.
Don't go away. We still got a long way to go to decide a Division I state title. Cleveland Heights by 3 over Zanesville. More coming up on Sports Channel.
Mac and Turf Insurance is an independent agency, which means we have the flexibility to tailor coverage to fit your needs. For home and auto, count on Mac and Turf Insurance to find the protection you need at affordable rates. For business insurance, trust our experience in determining workable solutions. For group and individual health insurance, Mac and Turf staff is knowledgeable about the latest plans available. Because we're a family too, and when it comes to life insurance, we know what's important to you. For all your insurance needs, call the Mac and Turf Insurance Agency.
There's a lot to see at Clay City Outlet Center. From pottery and stoneware to hand-painted gifts, baskets and accessories to kitchenware and health food, silk flowers and framed artwork to candles and candies, children's books and dolls to jackets and t-shirts, glassware to clay products, and even salsa? As you can see, there really is a lot to see at Clay City Outlet Center, a truly unique shopping adventure. I-70 at exit 155, Zanesville.
White Chevrolet Geo has made a special purchase of 1994 Chevrolet Cavaliers and Corsicas and are offering you these cars at a special price of $9,995. These cars have 16,000 to 22,000 miles on them and are covered with the balance of factory warranty. Equipment includes 4 doors, automatic transmission, air conditioning, tilt steering wheel, cruise control, power locks, and windows. There are only 11 available, so hurry to the end of the White Bridge at White Chevrolet Geo in Zanesville and select yours today.
Thanks a lot.
Delicious. It was wonderful.
Okay.
I
What's all the fuss about?
Look, it's Dave.
Why is everybody thanking Dave?
Way to go, Dave! Thanks, Dave!
Well, Wendy's delicious Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich is back. With Wendy's whole breast filet, Monterey Jack, and creamy ranch dressing with bacon. It's the sandwich everybody loves.
And Dave, I just want to say thanks.
Well, that's a relief.
Number 1, Cleveland Heights. Number 3, Zanesville in the state of Ohio going after each other. Early edge, it belongs to Cleveland Heights at 30-27 as we decide a Division I state championship. Nice to have you along. It's our 4th of 4. So we've come at you all day long out of St. John. Michael Regai alongside Bill Needle. We talked about the lead guard matchup in this one. They haven't disappointed, but some of the young people inside both ball clubs, Heights and Zanesville, really picked it up big, especially in the second quarter.
We talk about Mr. Basketball, Michael, and you've got Damon Stringer. He can penetrate, and he shot well from the outside. He finds an opening and good body control to swish it through. Damon Stringer, that's the job he's going to have to do for Randy Ayers when he gets to Columbus. I don't think they're going to let him fire away from 25 feet the way they do in high school. Damon Stringer's going to have to penetrate, take a beating, and find the man to dish to when he gets to Columbus.
Damon Stringer has 8. He authored 6 of those in the first half. Now, Slade Galloway, we talked about having that deep three-point stroke. He showed it to us here in the first half as he knocked down 3 trays.
3 out of 5 for Slade Galloway. He is their deep threat, and you can see why.
Slade Galloway with 11, as Bill said. 9 of those came on triple hits. So you see any decisive advantage early on? Tight basketball game. Heights by 3. You talked about Larry Moore being able to keep itself under control. He'd get a lot of things. Moments after you said that, he went off for a 9-point second quarter.
Well, Larry Moore's ability to go to the offensive glass not only highlights his ability, but it also allows Theo Dixon to go to the offensive glass. If there's an edge, it's Cleveland Heights on the offensive boards with second shots.
We'll see if that holds up through the final 16 minutes. Don't go away. A lot more conversation coming up at halftime right here on Sports Channel as we decide a Division I state championship. Cleveland Heights by 3 over Zanesville.
This is the collection agency calling. We still have not received.
We hope the layoff will only last a few months.
There's a penalty and a surcharge. This is the doctor's office. Your medical insurance only covers half of your
mortgage payment is late again.
Hey,
your car needs a new transmission.
Your checking account is showing a negative balance.
There's a discrepancy on your tax return.
If you're in over your head financially, call Consumer Credit Counseling Service. We can help you get out.
There's Uncle Mo.
Quiet, this is a golf course.
Go get the golf ball. Would you like some good John's potato chips?
I want my golf ball.
Oh, no.
Scuba goggles. I'm no swimmer. These Conn's chips really taste great. I still want my golf ball.
We are at halftime of the boys Division I basketball championships at St. John Arena, and we are joined by Assistant Commissioner of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, Blair Irvin. Mr. Irvin, your responsibility is the divisions, and they change, but they're fascinating. How do you set up the programs that establish the divisions?
Well, let me explain first. Divisions came about because previously we had the schools in classes, AAA, AA, and A, and they were split in 1/3. Then when football went from classes to divisions, the premise was that you would just take the number of schools playing football divided by 5, which was the divisions, and have each division with an equal number of schools. In about 2 years, the same idea caught on in the other sports. So now basically what we do in all sports is determine how many schools are going to participate in the sport and divide it by a number or the set divisions. And those are set by a regulation by the Board of Control.
Now, are these numbers that you divide by 5 divisions or 4 divisions, are they set in stone, or are these things that could change as time goes on?
Oh, they could change. As a matter of fact, even the divisions change each year. But those could change. The board could decide to add divisions or delete divisions. I better preface that. They could delete them in some sports.
Is there much of a movement to keep things the way they are, or is there always some kind of movement about to maybe have more divisions or fewer divisions?
Well, it appears there's always movements to have more divisions, because then schools feel you create a division they may fit in and they may win a state championship. We just added the second division in girls soccer for next year.
Now, how do they break down? We have 4 divisions in basketball, and we have more in other sports and less in others. In baseball, for example, how many divisions are there?
In baseball, there are 4. The way we determine it is if 750 schools participate in the sport, they can have 4 divisions. And then there's a ratio of schools participating drop down from 4 to 3 to 2. And if you have less than 250 schools, then you can only have 1 division.
Is there ever a temptation to keep all the division winners around for an extra week and see how it would work out if the Division I played the Division IV, if there happened to be some powerhouse schools?
Well, there is always that temptation. Somebody always suggests that to you, but in watching the contest, whether it be this weekend with the boys or last weekend with the girls, that when you look at the maturity of the individuals playing on the Division I schools as compared to the ones in the Division IV, you begin to realize that maybe there is some magic to having divisions.
There's a lot of magic going on the floor at St. John Arena as the second half of the boys Division I championship game gets ready to go. Many thanks to Blair Irvin, Assistant Commissioner of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, and we'll find out more about Division I boys right after this.
Income tax refunds are on the way, and that means now is the time to make sure your friends hear you coming with a new sound machine from Thunder Bay at Custom Vans of Zanesville. Great looks are important too, and Custom Vans of Zanesville is stocked with truck caps, bug shields, toolboxes, plus all types of ground effects. Choose from names like Orion, Pioneer, MTX Black Gold, plus quality-made bed liners and truck caps. Bring your refund checks for great deals at Custom Vans of Zanesville on Old Falls Road, 1 mile north of Colony Square Mall.
Customers have requested a short-term CD with an attractive rate and a low opening balance. Our new 17-month CD fulfills that request. Short-term at a 7.01 annual yield, a $1,000 minimum opening balance. To open your new 17-month CD, call one of our personal bankers. You can expect a difference at Mutual Federal Savings Bank.
They were robbed.
No.
Robbed
All that money?
by an energy thief. Call the cooling authorities, your carrier dealer, the only one with a weather maker. It'll save you up to 60% on your cooling costs.
Another one? Busted.
Call your carrier dealer. It'd be a crime to call anyone else.
Call Kogo Plumbing and Heating in Cambridge, 432-4363.
It's only natural. Families grow. Things change. That's why State Farm agents offer family insurance checkups. They help you see to it that your insurance keeps up with your changing family. So keep the family insurance checkup in mind. After all, you'd be surprised how fast things can change.
Is your insurance keeping up with your family's changing needs? Call Marshall Atwood today and find out.
Has all the makings of a wire. Cleveland Heights by 3, trying to go wire to wire as the regular season poll champs who win a state championship. They lead Zanesville at 30-27. Heights with the basketball. Jeremy Holmes, Damon Stringer, Keith Allen, Larry Moore, Theo Dixon. 5 starters for Jim Capoletti. Stringer's going to hang in the air. Left it a little bit short. Cedric Hall. Hall and Edwin Young along with Slade Galloway, David Houston, Seth Martin. This is Martin. Got it down. Was in a crowd. Seth muscled it home.
Point guards used to be called playmakers. Michael and Edwin Young made that play with a great penetration and then an entry pass to Seth Martin.
Sophomore Seth has 9, 30-29. Heights by just 1. Keith Allen putting it on the deck. Didn't get the roll.
Zanesville has tightened up their defense a little bit, inviting Cleveland Heights to shoot from the outside. Helps Zanesville on the defensive glass. Heights had 10 offensive rebounds in the first half.
Blue Devils looking for their first lead in a long time. Edwin Young will give it to him. Look at him hang and put it down with contact.
Switched it to his left hand as well to get it away from the shot blocker. Michael, good move by Edwin Young.
31-30. Zanesville by 1. First lead since they led it at 3-zip. Stringer. Young pushing the floor. All the way to the hole. Yeah, it'll count with a trip to the line coming for Edwin Young. Here comes Zanesville.
Early in the second half, Cleveland Heights taking some ill-advised shots, and Edwin Young under control. Doesn't have any wing help, so he takes it to the glass himself, draws the foul, and you get a look at David Houston flying right at our Sports Channel camera.
Edwin Young looking to make it a 7-0 Zanesville run in the first minute 28 of the third.
Edwin Young will fill up a score sheet for you too, Michael. 7 assists, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. Run out of ink, you talk about that young fella.
A stat sheet stuffer, huh? Young's got 5 in the third. 5 of those 7. The lead is up to 4. Cleveland Heights needs a hoop, get them settled down. Keith Allen in traffic, he lost it.
Trying to get a little bit better shot, caused the defense to collapse on him. Zanesville definitely flying out of the locker room with all the momentum in the second half.
The Zanesville Blue Devil crowd up on their feet, letting their ball club know about it. Galloway knocked down a 3. The run is 10-0 to start the third.
You have to know where Galloway is all the time. Cleveland Heights unaware.
Oh, they love it in Zanesville, and the Blue Devil followers here at St. John. They're perfect on the year, trying to join Liberty Benton as the only undefeated ball clubs in the Buckeye State.
The zone collapses when the pass goes to the foul line, and they kick it back out to Galloway. A lot of different ways to break a zone. The best way, get the ball into the middle of the floor and let them collapse on you so you can kick it out. In the first half, Cleveland Heights built a 3-point lead because they were on the boards. 17-17 equal, but 10 of those 17 rebounds for Cleveland Heights were on the offensive glass. Larry Moore with 5 of them, 4 of them he scores on the putback. Zanesville able to stay close at 27 because they are able to hit the outside threes from Slade Galloway.
Edwin Young's dropped 5 of them in the hole. Slade Galloway with his 4th triple hit of the night. Seth Martin had the first one. There's your 10-0 run. It's taken 2 minutes and 7 seconds, and Jim Capoletti said, I think I've seen enough of Scott Aaronholt's ball club. Aaronholt, baby, better want to bottle and cap whatever he said at halftime, Bill Needle. Stringer threw it away. Over the top of Keith Allen. Turnover, Cleveland Heights.
Cleveland Heights gets into these periods of funk. The question is, how long does it last?
And can it easily be turned on and off? They pushed the button last night and it worked. Down 17. You get the sense that they might not want to go to that same well again this evening. Their 3-point halftime lead has eroded into a 7-point deficit. Cedric Hall just bailed out Slade Galloway. That personal foul going to go on Cleveland Heights as they try to rip that basketball away. Damon Stringer got it. That is 3 on Mr. Basketball.
Zanesville not afraid to throw the skip pass even though Cleveland Heights is quick from side to side on their zone. Damon Stringer with a seat. Jeff Johnson into the game for Cleveland Heights.
Didn't see Jeff Johnson in the first half. Only Lawson and Lee came off Jim Capoletti's bench. Blocking foul. It goes right away on Jeff Johnson, who just checked in. That is the 3rd team foul on Cleveland Heights here in the third. They're scoreless now through 2.5 minutes plus of basketball. Young, terrific dish. Putting it down. David Houston with contact to go to the line.
Cleveland Heights' zone gets caught moving, and Zanesville knows exactly where to deliver the pass. Terrific ball movement by the Blue Devils. Entry pass by Edwin Young, and the big fella, David Houston, uses his wide body to clear out space in the paint. Beautiful zone attack basketball by the Zanesville Blue Devils.
Houston, a 6'6" junior. The run has exploded now, up to 13-0 to start this third quarter of play. Heights up 3, now they're down 10. They desperately need a successful trip. Theo Dixon baseline. Very active zone D right now, Zanesville.
And a tight one too, Michael. They're just really packing it close, defying Cleveland Heights to shoot from outside.
Holmes with a lean, too hard. Larry Moore, hard to the hoop, not there. That personal foul is going to go on Seth Martin, a sophomore. He has now joined Damon Stringer with 3 personal fouls.
Seth Martin, an aggressive player, but not always aware whether he has inside position or not on the glass. His third.
Josh Olinger checking in. He'll replace Seth Martin. Olinger back. He had 2 points in the second quarter.
Great job of defense on Sean Stonework down the stretch last night by Josh Olinger. Playing on one leg. He had ACL. He's going to have reconstruction once the season's over.
Keith Allen shaking a little bit. Keith Allen didn't get it, but went and got his own, and then Allen got fouled over the back by Slade Galloway. Heights is at least becoming very active on the offensive glass after they've got hit with this 13-0 run.
Mike, they're throwing the ball up on the glass and they're going after it as individuals. What has to happen is somebody from Cleveland Heights is going to have to take it upon himself to get the whole team involved in the offense.
Holmes threw it away. Cleveland Heights has gone 3 minutes and 35 seconds without a hoop. Houston put it down. 15-0 run.
Cleveland Heights playing a little bit passive in the paint. They can't wait much longer, or else Zanesville is going to be nothing but a vision in their rearview mirror.
42-30, 15-zip Zanesville run. Dixon just threw it over the hole. Not a good shot, Theo Dixon.
Time for Keith Allen to take control for Cleveland Heights, just the way that Edwin Young and Cedric Hall take control for Zanesville. They are outstanding floor generals. Good backcourt for Zanesville.
They've been strong. Jim Capoletti may need another time out here real quick. In case you're just joining us, Cleveland Heights led by 3 at the break. They're now down a dozen, and they haven't scored in the third quarter. The triple came up very short from Slade Galloway. Olinger ran it down. Galloway again. Back iron. Cleveland Heights turn it over. Never did control it.
Edwin Young is all over the floor for Zanesville, knocking away loose balls, delivering passes. Fine player.
Now Heights has got a run out. Let's see if they cash in. Holmes went to the hoop, got fouled by Edwin Young.
Jeremy Holmes takes it from the wing as Cleveland Heights gets an advantage in transition. He'll go to the line for a pair where Jeremy Holmes shoots the ball at roughly 60%.
Talked about Jim Capoletti needing another TO. He's got it. His ball club has been blitzed. 15-0 Zanesville run. Blue Devils lead it by a dozen. Bill, this is almost the same proportions as last evening. Now, they were down 17 last night. Same type of situation. I mean, they're going to have to change what lack of momentum they have right now. They got to get energized somehow.
Well, you do it by defense. Extend the defense, push it out, make Zanesville work to get the ball across, make Zanesville work to get to the offensive glass. Cleveland Heights is going to have to use their defense in order to generate offense because the offense is not there in the half-court set. And it was in the first half.
Oh, yeah, it was. Larry Moore and Theo Dixon very, very strong in the first half. They each had 9. That's the inside game that Jim Capoletti likes. We've talked about it. I've probably mentioned it 5 times here in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. There it is, 15-zip in the 4:52 we played. Cleveland Heights 0-7 from the floor, while Zanesville burning up at 6 of 8, says our man with the numbers, Mark Matheny. Jeremy Holmes going to try to put an end to this blitz that Jim Capoletti has seen his ball club be hit with.
That's the way you have to do it, is at the free throw line as well. At least you can get some points back with the clock stopped. But Zanesville is feeling their oats right now, Michael, and they can do whatever they want to do, whether it's in the open floor, whether it's in the half court. Cleveland Heights back on the ropes. They're going to have to do something to reverse that position.
It took 4 minutes and 52 seconds here in the third quarter. Cleveland Heights finally gets a slash in the book. That's 1 on the night for Jeremy Holmes. He'll touch every side of the St. John rim to get his second down. Here's that trap pressure that Heights picked themselves up with last night. And right away, it results in a turnover and a foul on Big David Houston. That could be the momentum shift right there.
Well, I hate to say I told you so, but you're going to have to extend your defense and try and get something off your defense, Michael. Here you see the ball off of David Houston's hands. Jeremy Holmes quick to get inside, and then David Houston reaches around.
Let's see if Heights cashes in here. They're down 10. Damon Stringer, Mr. Basketball, down with 3 personal fouls. Jeremy Holmes with a lean. Battle on the glass. Holmes got his own. Jeremy again, and bury it from 12.
Cleveland Heights puts a couple scores together. They're using the trap to try and create something.
Zanesville beat it with Cedric Hall, 42-34. Zanesville by 8.
Edwin Young's a big guard too, Michael. He's a junior. He's 6'3".
I said earlier, yeah, he can look things over. He'll go over the top of you and run to the hole like that, but he didn't finish. Larry Moore went up to scrape it, sends Jeremy Holmes away. The baseline run for Heights. Jeff Johnson wouldn't go down. Oh, Jeremy Holmes, terrific play. Edwin Young blew the layup. Never got his feet. Jim Capoletti is furious because the officials have stopped it. Jerry Myers got hit in the face for Zanesville. And again, we saw this earlier in the day. Jim Capoletti a little bit upset because his ball club's running up the floor with an advantage.
And because Jerry Myers got hit in the face, they had that extra man as well. But the rules are the rules. You stop the game according to the welfare of the young people. There you see Jerry Myers attended to on the Zanesville bench. Cleveland Heights coming back a little bit. They've cut what once was a 12-point lead to 8. With Jeremy Holmes and Keith Allen now in the backcourt, up to Larry Moore and Theo Dixon to get on the glass and get some second shots the way they did in the first 2 periods.
Damon Stringer's been down a long time. Second gun of the night from Jeff Johnson came up shy. Johnson off the bench decided to load one up.
Mike, I'm all for balanced scoring, but if you got Keith Allen on your ball club, put the ball in his hands, let him make the rest of you better.
He and Dixon haven't seen it a lot here in the third. Seth Martin won't happen for him. We're going to stay Zanesville's way. Last touch, Dixon and Holmes, Cleveland Heights.
Watch the execution out of bounds from Zanesville. You can generally tell how well drilled a team is by the way they execute their inbounds plays.
Cedric Hall, kick it up top. Galloway spotted up. His triple won't fall. Seth Martin. The triple out of the gun of Josh Olinger will stay with Zanesville. Olinger wasn't shy, fired it up right away from outside the arc.
There you see the difference between the way Zanesville scores and the way Cleveland Heights scores. 1 assist means individual play. 11 assists means team play.
Zanesville, the benefactor. 8 assists of those 11 belong to the lead guard, Edwin Young, the guy we highlighted for you at the top of the show. Minute 25 left in the third. Zanesville by 8, 42-34. Happier part of it on Sports Channel. Michael Regat, Bill Needle with you courtside at St. John. Cedric Hall bottomed it out, hit the tray.
A well-balanced team is Zanesville. They had all 5 starters in double figures in the regional finals, and you can see why. Everybody can score on the ball club.
Keith Allen baseline, had it rejected by Seth Martin. 45-34. Zanesville has outscored Cleveland Heights 18-4 here in 7 minutes plus of the third. Mark it down and remember it if Zanesville takes this one home. Seth Martin hard to the hole. Theo Dixon went up to grab it off. Cleveland Heights looking to get inside that plateau of 10. Jeremy Holmes went hard to the hoop, drew the personal foul as he made his way to the hole.
Call it on the floor. That's only the 15th foul this half for Zanesville. Good look there at Cedric Hall. He's a junior. Take a look at Cedric Hall. Call it on the, no, I called it on the shot.
Cedric Hall got hit with that personal foul, so Jeremy Holmes going back to the stripe. Well, this is where Cleveland Heights needs to make it happen with a clock stop. got a quarter plus 20 ticks left here in the third, but they're down 11.
Neither team has really gotten to the foul line very much. Zanesville 3 out of 3, Cleveland Heights 3 out of 4. Make that 4 out of 5.
Holmes split the pair. He's got 5, all of them here in the third. 17 seconds left. The Zanesville lead is 10. Cedric Hall in trouble, found Edwin Young. Young had it ripped by Holmes, got it back. Young on the push. Drop it off baseline, hard off that glass. Olinger. Josh got it back, stepped through and buried it off glass.
3 Cleveland Heights Tigers have Olinger surrounded. He ducks through and at the buzzer extends the Zanesville lead to 12. It's a 15-point turnaround, Michael. Take a look at the way Josh Olinger steps through the trio of Cleveland Heights Tigers. Splits them and banks them.
A 20-5 third quarter burst has Zanesville thinking title. They're trying to beat the #1 team in Ohio. They're on top of Cleveland Heights, 47-35. Don't go away. We'll decide it out of St. John in a moment.
Dodge Caravan, America's favorite minivan. And right now at Balderson's, if you are a local sports fan, you can get savings of up to $2,100 on Caravans. All the style, all the safety features, all the fun of owning a Caravan with savings of up to $2,100 right now at Balderson's. Plus, if you're already hauling the team around in a Chrysler minivan, you can take an additional $500 off. America's favorite minivan at Zanesville's favorite place to save. Balderson Dodge, Maple Avenue, Zanesville.
First Federal gives you all of this with Payroll Direct Deposit. No monthly maintenance fee, unlimited check writing, no monthly ATM card holder fee, 200 free basic style checks, no closing costs for opening your First Federal home equity loan, a 1% discount on the current rate for installment loans when payments are transferred from your First Federal account. You get this and more with Payroll Direct Deposit from First Federal, FDIC insured, an equal housing lender.
While nothing can replace personal service, your neighborhood Leader Drugstore has an added service, Health Touch. It offers you valuable health information, enhanced counseling, privacy for sensitive subjects, and printed information. Health Touch is simple to use, and its exclusive editorial information is from some of the world's leading health authorities and is updated regularly. Nothing replaces personal service, but at Leader Drugstores, Health Touch is information for a healthy life. Leader, the place to go for service, savings, and quality products.
At Aldon Supply Company in Cambridge, we service a do-it-yourselfer, whether it be professional, industrial, or farming. We supply everyone with one-stop shopping in our large and complete inventory of plumbing, heating, electrical, and hardware. In fact, no matter what you need for your fix-up, Aldon Supply is there. Our professional, knowledgeable sales staff will help you find what you're looking for, even if you aren't quite sure what it is. Aldon Supply Company, family-owned and operated since 1964, located on Steubenville Avenue in Cambridge.
Here's how Zanesville makes it 12. Josh Olinger steps through, kisses it off glass as the buzzer goes off. They're up by 12 with the ball as the fourth quarter begins.
Cleveland Heights put 31 points on the board in the fourth quarter last night. They're going to need something close to that tonight if they want to be Division I state champs. Olinger broke down the D. Going to go to the line. Over the top went Larry Moore to whack Josh Olinger.
Zanesville looks like a team that can play whatever tempo is needed in order to maintain its lead. Good guards with Edwin Young and Cedric Hall, interchangeable guards. Good look there at the field goal percentage. Cleveland Heights a little bit less than 33%. Zanesville not all that good, but it's the three-point field goals that add insult to injury. What about the third quarter?
From Heights' perspective, 8% in the third quarter. One hit in 12 opportunities, while Zanesville went at 8 of 17 from the floor. That was in the third. 20-5 run out. Seth Martin went up in a crowd, had it stripped. Josh Olinger, though, doesn't cash in. Damon Stringer is back, ripping the three and burying it. He did it last night and got heated up.
He's certainly going to make the most of the opportunities. It's not as though he's going to run away from the ball. That's one thing Stringer does not do.
Here's that relentless Cleveland Heights pressure. The lead is at 9, 47-38. Galloway for the tray. Book it.
Answer back. Stringer goes, Galloway goes.
That's 5 3-point bombs that have connected out of the gun of Galloway. Stringer again. Oh, it's heating up inside St. John.
What's amazing is that Stringer comes off the bench to do this. Hasn't had any touches because of foul trouble. Stringer walks out off the bench and drills 3. They start adding those things like tape measure home runs, Michael. Start adding the distance together of those 2 threes. And Slade Galloway, going the other way from Zanesville, does the very same thing.
Got a whistle on the inbound pass. That personal foul is going to go on Jeremy Holmes. For Holmes, that is his second personal foul. That is on Cleveland Heights, their 6th here in the second half.
Edwin Young is the kind of point guard that uses his big body to an advantage. I in no means compare him to Oscar Robertson totally, but he knows how to use his body when he handles the ball, and he always keeps that big body between himself and the defender.
Edwin Young. Kick it back Galloway, who has hit big time with 5 threes tonight. The lead is 9, 50-41 for Zanesville. Cleveland Heights needs a run to become D1 state champs. Cedric Hall.
Damon Stringer is going to go to college here at Ohio State, but Cedric Hall just took him to school off the dribble.
52-41, lead back to 11. Stringer again for 3. Muscle from Theo Dixon. Dixon again is going to go to the line as Cleveland Heights continuing to pound that offensive glass.
They'll get the opportunities to put it back, Michael, but some of these opportunities are going to have to fall. Watch the aggressiveness on the board, both from the white-clad Zanesville Blue Devils and 34 gold Theo Dixon. 1 try. There's the foul. He'll get a free throw.
I've talked a lot today about sense of urgency. I would say Jim Capoletti's bunch came out in the 4th quarter with that very premise in mind. Stringer's buried a couple of threes. They played good D, except Galloway and Cedric Hall have answered for Zanesville. Heights has only shaved a point off that lead. Dixon looking to split the pair. Theo is in double numbers now with 10. That is his first point here in the second half. 52-42. Lead is 10 for Zanesville. They're with it. Pressure in that backcourt. Martin got across that timeline. We approach the 6-minute mark. Cleveland Heights had it all going their way through the first 16 minutes. A 20-5 third quarter from Zanesville took them from 3 down to 12 up. Stringer stepping in the passing lane. Had a hand on it, ripped it away. Jeremy Holmes with a crossover. Holmes not there. Bodies on the deck. Out of the pack comes Cedric Hall. Hall will squeeze the trigger. David Houston, a lot of muscle. Got the personal foul on Cleveland Heights. Going to go on Theo Dixon, I believe.
Jeremy Holmes, take a look at the replay. Here, David Houston pumps and finally draws the foul. At the other end of the floor, Jeremy Holmes is down. Cleveland Heights trainer attending to his injury. Looks like they're rubbing out a cramp, trying to straighten out what's going on underneath the basket in front of the Cleveland Heights bench.
So take a look at Jeremy Holmes walking slowly off the floor with some help. I think Jim Capoletti's a little bit upset, as if you remember in the first half, play was stopped when Jerry Myers got hit in the face. With Holmes down, play on was the verdict from the officials.
David Houston at the line.
Well, it'll be David Houston at the stripe. Houston tonight's been banging around. He had 5 of the 20 points in that Zanesville third quarter run.
Zanesville, 4 out of 6 from the free throw line. In the 4th quarter, Cleveland Heights' pressure defense is going to create a lot of free throw opportunities for Zanesville. If they shoot their free throws well, they're going to be able to hold on.
54-42, the lead is at 12. Keith Allen needing to get hot offensively. Larry Moore with an open look at it. Larry Moore will rip it.
Good recognition by Keith Allen, finding the open man at the free throw line.
10-point Zanesville lead, 5 minutes left right now. Damon Stringer, Mr. Basketball, with 4 personal fouls. Got taken, run to the hoop. The stick back goes down. Seth Martin, they're crashing now.
2 Tigers on the glass, and Zanesville's playing tip.
56-44. I really believe Cleveland Heights is still stunned from that third quarter. Allen in a crowd. Keith Allen's going to go to the line. That personal foul, David Houston.
David Houston takes up a lot of space in the paint for Scott Aaron-Hall's Blue Devils. It's a big, big fella in the lane. Tough to get around him. Keith Allen to the line, and Jeremy Holmes back on the floor. Junior for Jim Capoletti.
Now Holmes is back. Jeff Johnson to sit down on the Capoletti Tiger bench. Keith Allen trying to get this deficit of Heights back to 10. They'll have to settle for 11. Not a Keith Allen-like night. Only 4 points and 3 boards. Allen missed them both. Possession going to go to Cleveland Heights as Allen had the presence of mind to tie it up after he missed a couple of throws. As Cleveland Heights has the same thing in them that they began last night in the semis. Stringer for the 3. David Houston pulled it off. Cedric Hall. Basketball going to go Cleveland Heights way as it went over the top of the glass.
Michael, this game is being won by the backcourt of the Zanesville Blue Devils. Cedric Hall and Edwin Young have been terrific tonight, not just in their scoring, but in the way they handle the ball and move the team around.
Larry Moore got inside, found it to his liking. Moore with the deuce cuts the lead back to 10. Moore with 13. Trouble in that backcourt. Cedric Hall going to cross the timeline. Stolen away Stringer. Damon's going to go to the hole. Soloing, the lead is 8. Stringer with 8 here in the third quarter. Well, as Heights have another one of those heart stoppers in them again tonight. 3:36 left. Jim Capoletti's guys down 8. Still a ways to go if they're going to get Zanesville.
Zanesville seems to think that they do, Michael. That's why they called timeout. Getting your offense from your defense. Here you see Cedric Hall hit away by Stringer. Jeremy Holmes sends it back ahead. All-Ohio first-teamer Damon Stringer finishes. And the lead is now 8 with 3:36 to play.
Take a look at what we have numbers-wise for you as we reset it. A couple of timeouts left for Jim Capoletti in the Heights. Zanesville with 3 timeouts, both of them in bonuses. They'll be shooting at the line on every foul on the defensive side. 56-48, Zanesville by 8. If you're just joining us, been a game of, been 2 games within 1. Cleveland Heights, strong first half, got what they wanted, had a 3-point lead at the break, certainly not commanding, but a 15-0 Zanesville run in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter put Heights down 12. They haven't recovered. They have, however, cut it back to 8.
Michael, young man, 14 in the gold, Jason Lieberman wants to send best wishes to Bobby Lieberman back in Cleveland Heights. Been under the weather quite a bit of late, and she is in his thoughts, the young man there on the bench for the Tigers.
We echo those thoughts of Jason Lieberman. Pressure from Cleveland Heights. Got the steal. Allen picked it. Allen went glass. Keith Allen again wouldn't fall. Allen had 2 opportunities in tight. Martin rejected by Larry Moore. Keith Allen had a great chance to cut this down to 6, and it didn't fall for him twice. Young to the hole. Won't fall. Heights with another chance to cut it to 6, maybe 5.
Cleveland Heights energized now, Michael. There's some momentum for the Tigers.
Theo Dixon's going to go to the line. He got the terrific look from Jeremy Holmes. Dixon got whacked by Edwin Young.
It comes and it goes, and it's back with Cleveland Heights right now. Theo Dixon gets hit by Edwin Young. He's got a chance once again to cut it to 6 if he can hit a pair.
Cleveland Heights, though, has faltered a little bit of late from the charity stripe. Dixon, letter perfect as he rips it there. Theo with 11 to second here in the 4th.
The guards have been good for Zanesville all night, Michael. Now the game is in the hands of the guards of the Blue Devils. How well they play in the final 2:59 will determine whether or not they are state champions in Division I.
The lead is 6, 56-50. Zanesville with it in the offensive end. Cleveland Heights has now got it back to a 2-possession game. Potentially. Slade Galloway. Better do something with it. Yeah, 5-second call. Turn it over. Give it to Cleveland Heights. Slade Galloway, you can see him. Just not making anything happen. Jim Capoletti has got Heights all riled up. They're down 6 with still an eternity left to go in St. John.
And Scott Aaronholt uses his timeouts as momentum squishers, Michael. Play like that, as long as Cleveland Heights has momentum anyway, a play like that creates even more momentum. Aaronholt uses a timeout right now. He's got 2 left just to keep Cleveland Heights from getting a little bit more wind in their sails.
Zanesville, and obviously this Heights run has been keynoted by it after playing so solidly. Has got sloppy with the basketball. That's their 16th turnover of the night, and 5 of them have come here in the 4th quarter when Cleveland Heights started to turn up the heat.
Earlier in the game, Cleveland Heights was able to dominate the offensive glass. If Cleveland Heights can get the ball up in the air on the glass, they have a chance for 3-point plays. They have a chance to score with free throws while the clock is stopped. The big men of Cleveland Heights will tell the tale.
Number 1 against number 3 in the state. Cleveland Heights, the top-ranked ball club. Zanesville at number 3. Stringer, Holmes, Larry Moore, Theo Dixon, Keith Allen, the 5 for Capoletti. Stringer from the baseline. Didn't drop. Got a whistle inside. David Houston's going to get hit for clearing out, and Theo Dixon will go to the line for Cleveland Heights. They're getting everything they want with the clock stop, Bill.
Take a look in the lower left part of your screen as David Houston, 52 in the white, sends Theo Dixon a little bit too far under the basket to get an offensive rebound, and as a result, he gets 2 throws.
Dixon left it short. Look at Larry Moore big in the paint. Stringer hanging in the air. Got it! With one coming from the line. Stringer and Cleveland Heights now feeling it in St. John.
Call it heart, call it brass, call it spine, call it what you want. Damon Stringer, not having a good game, still does not run away from the ball in crucial situations. He has a chance to cut it to 3 with 2:22 to play.
Those here inside St. John that are not fans of any ball club but Ohio State Buckeye fans getting an early look at maybe their lead guard. Damon Stringer, saddled with 4 personal fouls, has 11 in the 4th quarter. The lead down to 3. Blocking foul, Jeremy Holmes. Holmes tried to use that sideline for leverage. Got hit with a block. It'll be Edwin Young at the free throw stripe.
At least only 3 seconds went off the clock if you're a Cleveland Heights fan, and if you're a Zanesville fan, you've got the man at the line in All-Ohio performer Edwin Young. You want the ball in his hands. You want him at the line. You want him in clutch situations. Each side got a little bit of what they wanted in that play, Michael.
Well, a marvelous wind-up to the boys' 94-95 high school basketball season. All Zanesville in the 3rd quarter to build their 12-point lead. All Cleveland Heights here in the 4th to cut it back to 3. Young's got one more coming to try to push it back up to a 5-point Blue Devil advantage. Edwin Young now on the night in double numbers with 10. He averages 14.
Cleveland Heights has been susceptible to long rebounds in free throw situations. They've got to get in there and block out.
Young didn't cash the second one in. The lead is 4. Damon Stringer hot in the 4th with 11. Stringer into the paint, rises up right there. Oh, he's doing it again. the night. The lead is down to 2, 57-55. Allen almost with the steal. Zanesville looks very tentative now.
Sometimes pulling the ball out, even though it might be the prudent thing to do, indicates just what you said, Michael, a little tentative.
Trying to split the floor. Cedric Hall trying to take Stringer. Damon playing with 4, but on fire here with the shot in the 4th. All the way to the hoop went Edwin Young. Theo Dixon met him up at the apex, got body. Young will go back to the line.
That's why we were just talking about the very same play. No tentative nature here on the part of Edwin Young. He either scores or he gets fouled. No sense pulling the ball out, letting the clock run. Edwin Young has a chance to make it a 4-point lead.
Young split the pair a moment ago. And he's standing at the charity stripe. Edwin's missed 2 of his last 3. Even if he connects here, it's still, as we said, potentially it's the 1-possession basketball game. Nice night for Edwin Young, been very strong.
9 assists in a high school game, Michael. They don't give out assists a lot in high school. It's a great performance by Edwin Young. I can't wait to follow his career next season as a senior.
Oh, he's broken down the Heights D countless times tonight. Jeremy Holmes. The lead is 3 for Zanesville. Minute 25 left. Keith Allen. Stringer. Heights being patient. Stringer pulled the trigger. Got another one. The lead is down to 1. Damon Stringer putting on a show in the 4th. 58-57. Zanesville by 1. 1 minute right now left in it. That in regulation time. Jeremy Holmes got the personal foul. Edwin Young going right back to the line. Bill, you know, if you're Heights, I think that's the way to go for them.
You have
Zanesville at the line because Stringer's on fire. The whole offense is solid now.
Sure, it's got 2 aspects to the move, Michael. Number 1, you're gambling on defense. You have a chance to make the play. If you knock it away and you get a breakaway, all well and good. If you don't, you put Zanesville on the line. Pressure's on Zanesville right now.
Edwin Young's hit 2 of the last 4 times he's been at the stripe, shooting the front end of this 1-and-1. The lead is at 2, 59-57. Edwin Young. We talked about the lead guards. I mentioned this earlier, 71-7 since he began as a starter for Jim Capoletti in his freshman year. That is 15 points here in the 4th quarter sound to bring his club back. 60-57. Edwin Young hit a couple.
And Michael, there's still time to get another possession. Cleveland Heights calling timeout.
Jim Capoletti calling timeout. Heights needs to talk about it. Well, I don't need to tell you who is absolutely smoking with the hot hand right now, and you would imagine Mr. Basketball wants it because he's feeling it.
You have to keep in mind that as much as Damon Stringer likes to shoot threes, Mike, he's also quick enough and explosive enough to penetrate, draw a foul, and get a 3-point play by way of the foul line as well. So he can get you coming and going. It's not just a 3-point jumper from Damon Stringer.
Cleveland Heights with only 1 timeout left. Look at Stringer here in the 4th.
Pretty clean.
Yeah, he has bottomed out, as we said, 15 points. He hit a couple of threes to get him started, and then it's been an array of offensive moves, but Zanesville has not caved in. Now, they've teetered and they've wavered, but they've not caved in.
Cleveland Heights, a number of ways to go about their business now. They can go inside, have a chance to take care of some mismatches. Theo Dixon and Larry Moore able to score inside. It's a guard-oriented offense because of Stringer, but they can still get plays inside, down low.
Here we go, 47 seconds left. Damon Stringer trying to get that high pick for the deep 3 to tie it. Got it! Oh, baby, Damon Stringer is going off. We're tied at 60 apiece. Mr. Basketball, letting everybody know why he has been selected for that very honor.
Michael, they set up, look how high they set the pick for Damon Stringer to get the 3. Damon Stringer is 10 feet behind the arc. That's a 30-footer to tie this game at 60.
Baby, this is Damon Stringer, as I said, just smoldering. I mean, smoking, shooting the basketball. Billy, this is what it's all when it becomes worthwhile, when the blacktop and the playgrounds are just sizzling all summer long for moments just like this.
There you get a look at the three-point field goals on the game. Listen to this in the fourth quarter, Michael. Stringer, 18, 7 of 9 field goals, 3 of 5 on the threes, 1 of 1 on the free throws. Damon Stringer putting on the kind of show you hear about in high school basketball. Remember, this is soon, if it goes Cleveland Heights' way, you never know. But if it goes the Tigers' way, they'll tell this story for years.
Absolutely. Maybe in 2020, when you and I are still doing state championship games, they'll be talking about, remember Damon Stringer back in 1995. 18 fourth quarter points from the Heights leader. Has it all tied at 60 apiece. Heights got hit with a Zanesville bomb. Now Heights is retaliated.
See what Scott Aaron-Holt does as far as putting the ball in the hands of the players that he wants. The good free throw shooters will be handling the ball.
Heights staying with pressure. Cedric Hall got to hurry. Got it across the timeline, and then it's stolen away. Hall. Baseline will go Cleveland Heights' way. Knocking it out of bounds was Edwin Young.
Jeremy Holmes, Edwin Young into a couple of Ohio State's finest and a red coat, to be sure. Knocked them all down.
Yeah. A labor of love for everybody inside St. John Arena. 24.1. Heights has come back from 12 down.
Each team has one timeout remaining, Mike.
Stringer to play it in and threw it away. Edwin Young on the run to the hole. Got it pinged, but he got drilled going to the hoop. Jeremy Holmes with a personal foul. Heights threw it away.
Take a look at the inbounds play for Cleveland Heights. Here comes the follow down at the other end. Edwin Moore gets fouled on the way to the glass.
Jeremy Holmes has just committed his 5th personal foul, so he is gone. And now Jeremy Holmes can only hope that his ball club has one more majestic moment in it.
See what happens at the free throw line as Edwin Young goes to that stripe.
5 of 7 from the stripe is Edwin Young. Boy, he has been there a lot, and he's hit 4 of those 5 here in the fourth quarter when his ball club has had to have it. Jeff Johnson replacing Jeremy Holmes.
Wonder whose hands the ball's going to end up in going back the other way, no matter what Edwin Young does.
60 apiece. Young going to get 2 throws.
A visible sigh of relief from Edwin Young as he steps away from the line. Good look at the junior. He's back for Scott Aaron-Holt next year.
He can build the lead to 2. With Stringer's range, I don't think it matters whether he hits it here or not. The lead is a pair. Jim Capoletti. Well, he didn't have to call the timeout because Scott Aaron-Holt did it for him to set up the D. 62-60, Zanesville by 2.
Cleveland Heights tied the game, Michael, on a very simple play. They set a pick for Damon Stringer so far outside the three-point arc that Zanesville wondered what Cleveland Heights was doing. What they were doing was very simply clearing some space for Damon Stringer to take it up from about 30. Now, Jim Capoletti with 1 timeout left. Scott Aaron-Holt burns his last one. In the Cleveland Heights huddle, they're going to find a way to put the ball in the hands of Mr. Basketball.
If you're just joining us, shame on you. You have missed something that on both sides of this state championship basketball coin has been something to behold. These Zanesville Blue Devils came in here trying to join Liberty Benton as the only ball club to go undefeated in 94-95. They played a strong first half, found themselves down 3. They promptly come out and put the first 50 points on the board in the third quarter to take a 12-point lead. So Heights looks buried. They're off their game. Enter Mr. Basketball. All he's done is throw 18 through the hoop in the fourth. Talking about Damon Stringer.
Aaron Holt for Zanesville. The coach has decided to pressure down the other end. It'll allow Cleveland Heights to get the ball in the open floor. Now he's pulling the defense back. Doesn't want Cleveland Heights to be able to go coast to coast with an open spread floor.
Here we go. It's all going to ride on Damon Stringer. Stringer, baseline to the hole. We're tied. He rips some more rope. 3 left. Tied at 62. Young for the win. Oh, down. It came out at the buzzer. We're going overtime at D1 in St. John. Catch your breath, everybody. We'll be back. Cleveland Heights, Zanesville tied at 62. 4 minutes of OT coming up out of St. John.
It's 7 a.m. Do you know where your banker is? If your banker is with the First National Bank of Zanesville, the answer is at the bank. And now you can go either north or south to find your First National banker at the bank. The Zane Plaza office is now open weekdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. North or south, 12 full hours every weekday to help you with your financial needs. Another great service for you from the First National Bank of Zanesville.
Swing in the spring with a new Chrysler from Tansky. Let the Tansky team assist you during the March Madness sale. Big savings, large selection, on-the-spot financing, 250 new and used cars to choose from with the sale price posted in the windshield. Don't go anywhere else because Tansky will meet and beat the competition. And don't forget that today's the day at Tansky where you can go all the way with a great deal on a new Toyota. March Madness has hit Tansky on North Maple Avenue. And from Tansky, congratulations Blue Devils on a great season. Today's the day.
Hi, Randy Kokonis. Some local consumers wanting a broad selection of quality furniture feel they have to travel an hour or more to find it. At Kokonis Furniture, the best selection of the brand names you want is all in stock right here in South Zanesville. As one of Ohio's fastest growing furniture companies, our reputation for quality and value has spread. Today, many of our customers are traveling an hour or more to shop and save at Kokonis Furniture. Come see why.
At Kokonis Furniture, we make it easier.
I had gone into some of the other local stores and I was not the least bit impressed.
I feel like the other jewelry stores are more concerned about the quantity of items that they sell rather than the quality.
I would not take this ring here and trust the stones that's been in the family for years to a chain store.
Pugh's Diamond Jewelers. If trust is important to you,
this is the place to come.
Not Aaron Holt. Stringer. Damon in the air. Triple not there. Keith Allen, Theo Dixon both had it and lost it. Underneath the hoop will go Zanesville's way.
Can't fault him for being aggressive. It was just two Tigers fighting after the ball themselves.
Pressure again. Cleveland Heights this time. Slade Galloway and Zanesville are clear. Cedric Hall buried a 3 to get him up 3. Stringer in the passing lane almost had the steal. Jeremy Holmes is fouled out, so Jeff Johnson running with Stringer in the backcourt.
Big responsibility for Jeff Johnson taking on All-Ohio player Edwin Young in the backcourt right as we look.
Young crossed over on Johnson, took him in the paint. Excellent dish inside. Trying to muscle it up from in tight Josh Olinger. He'll go to the line.
Edwin Young penetrates, the dribble penetration. He has the ability to make a good pass while in the air. Around him, and yet soft enough to handle.
Theo Dixon just got hit with his 5th personal foul, so the sophomore leaves with 12 points and 9 boards on the night for Jim Capoletti.
It becomes a war of attrition, Michael. Theo Dixon gone. Jeremy Holmes gone. On the other side, Seth Martin with 4. David Houston with 4. And Slade Galloway with 4.
Josh Olinger, who took the tough defensive chore on Sean Stonerook last night. There's Dixon, the sophomore. He'll be a terrific player before he's through. Is right now.
Josh Olinger's been coming to these tournament games at St. John with his dad Terry and his older brothers for 20 years. They'd always dreamed about this. playing for a state title, and now the dreams may have come true. It's a 5-point lead.
Just like that, in the first minute and 5, Zanesville goes up 5. Keith Allen in the paint. Allen will hang there and knock the lead back down to 3 as he buries it.
Tough shot on an in-between runner from the senior.
Stringer with a reach in. Playing with 4. Stolen away, Johnson. Johnson will solo. The lead is 1.
Good sneaky play by Jeff Johnson, waiting just outside the passing lane and then making his move once the ball was released.
Edwin Young going to try to gather things and get collected as a unit for Zanesville. 67-66 in overtime in the D1 championship finale. In trouble down there, Hall. Olinger in the paint. In traffic, he walked, turned it over.
Changed his pivot feed, Michael. He pivoted to his right and then came back around to pivot to the left, but he didn't keep the same pivot foot.
Quick 5-point run out Zanesville. Cedric Hall triple. Couple of free throws from Josh Olinger. Then 2 hoops from Keith Allen and from Jeff Johnson. Heights with a chance to take the lead on this trip. Allen. Larry Moore. Stringer for the lead. Short. Allen put back. Heights by 1.
Good patience at the top of his jumper by Keith Allen, a tremendously controlled player. They'll whistle that one on Jeff Johnson.
No, the runs in this basketball game, just amazing. I won't even go back to the third quarter of Zanesville and the fourth of Cleveland Heights here in overtime depicting. 5 quick ones Zanesville, 6 back for Cleveland Heights.
Michael, and they're undefinable because Damon Stringer simply went into the unconscious zone, and it didn't matter if you want to double team him, triple team him, tackle him, run him out of bounds. There just was no getting near him.
Now, linebackers and free safeties would have had a tough time controlling Damon Stringer in the fourth quarter. He was that blazing.
And in the meantime, Edwin Young just goes to the line coolly, calmly, and collectedly makes it 8 out of 10 from the line and a tie game.
This guy can break down a defense as well as any young high school player we've seen in a long time. 11 assists on the night. Young looking to put his ball club up 1. Had it curl out on him, but Olinger snuck in from the blocks and got the big board. Tied at 68 apiece. Seth Martin. Threw it away. Martin got tentative and threw it away. Young was coming to get it. Martin hit him with a rope from about 3 feet away. Minute 15 left in OT, tied at 68. Stringer hanging glass. Kicked out on him. They'll battle on the baseline. Seth Martin got fouled by Larry Moore, who reached in.
Only the second on Larry Moore. That ball was balanced on the back of Seth Martin's neck for a while there. Take a look at the rebound. Off glass, Seth Martin there. He can't find it because the ball's hiding right behind his head. Larry Moore reaches in. Seth Martin to the line.
Nobody has left St. John Arena. We certainly hope wherever you are around the Buckeye State on this finale of a Saturday night. As you see, tension in here, it's gripping. And sometimes it can be silencing, too, amid all of the noise.
It's exhilarating. It's a perfect end to a perfect day. What a ball game.
Martin.
Oh, he wanted to bank it.
I don't know if I've seen it too often. Seth Martin just went off the square from the free throw strike.
Well, it's a good place to put it. If you can shoot it long, put it in the square.
Guess it's better than the back plate. Martin might want to shorten this one up a little bit. Now he tried to go glass again. Didn't happen for him this time. 69-68. Cleveland Heights down 1. Damon Stringer, who has electrified this place with it. 58 seconds left. Jim Capoletti wants to burn another timeout.
Michael, a quick note. This year they have extended overtime periods from 3 to 4 minutes. We've got 57-6. We're inside that last minute, the extra minute that the High School Athletic Association has decided to put on.
We mentioned a moment ago, this one will be talked about and analyzed and dealt with for a long, long time around the state of Ohio. Zanesville's Blue Devils trying to join Liberty Benton as the only 2 undefeated ball clubs in this 94-95 season. Look at Seth Martin go off the square with the kiss and down.
high off the square, I might add.
Did he call it?
Guys in the truck said, you know, we heard him call it. We heard him say kiss.
Yeah, well, the fellas in the truck, they've got their ear to everything that is good, so I'm going to take their word for it. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are in the Buckeye State tonight. What a fitting conclusion to the 94-95 season. Michael Regat, Bill Needle, and you, and Cleveland Heights and Zanesville, and 13,000 heart-palpitating basketball fans.
The edge there, Zanesville, 7 more free throws converted. Zanesville has a 1-point lead.
Well, probably two. Zanesville has turned the basketball over 21 times, and a lot of that in the fourth quarter that probably hasn't here. Elsewise, they're celebrating the state championship right now. 69-68, Zanesville by 1. Stringer sizing up Edwin Young. We talked about this battle right off the top of the show tonight. It's materialized. Stringer fading away. Damon didn't hit it, but ran down his own miss. Cleveland Heights with another opportunity with 35 left.
Sounds funny to say that he's cooled off. He could go 8 for 12 and have cooled off from the way he was in the fourth quarter, but he really has. He's come back to reality from the zone that he was in. You see the clock in the lower right.
How's this for drama? Stringer's going to take it down and see what he gets. Damon in the paint for the lead. Didn't happen. Johnson, no. Johnson again, no. Stringer just got hit with a stiff personal foul, and he is fouled out.
Sometimes the game comes to the unexpected players. Jeremy Holmes fouls out. Jeff Johnson, inserted in the lineup, had an opportunity to make it happen for Cleveland Heights. Damon Stringer taking a look up at the clock to see if, in fact, it really is 5.
Damon Stringer, Mr. Basketball, will have to take a seat in front of the folks here at St. John. 20 points in the fourth quarter with 28 on the night.
And here you see the play that may have been the last play of the high school career of Damon Stringer, reaching in against Seth Martin as Zanesville tries to clear to the offensive end. Cleveland Heights now down to their 3rd and 4th guards. Entered Coleman James, the smallest man on the team. It's Jeff Johnson, Coleman James in the backcourt. Jeremy Holmes and Damon Stringer have fouled out. And talk about promising sophomores with promising futures. It is Seth Martin of the Zanesville Blue Devils who will go to the line with a chance at least to make it a 3-point lead.
Martin will have that opportunity. His last trip there, how about if I just say it was an adventure?
Wouldn't it be something to win by 1 point because a free throw was so far offline that it banked in? Stranger things have happened.
Damon Stringer, did not he put on a show that absolutely scintillated everybody inside St. John Arena tonight? Didn't look like it as he entered the fourth quarter with but 8 points. He put 20 through the rope in the fourth and in overtime.
He had struggled during the tournament, struggled in terms of shooting percentage, always in the 20s, but had struggled in terms of shooting percentage. He silenced a lot of critics tonight.
Seth Martin, front end of the 1 and bonus. Not gonna happen. The rebound to Chris Lee. 9 seconds left. Jeff Johnson with 3. Johnson, they're not going to get it off for the win. Oh, it's over. It's over. Zanesville has upset Cleveland Heights. They go undefeated and win the Division I title, 69-68. That you could want showing up on the floor of St. John Arena, and in the stands also. Don't go away. We'll come back and wrap it up. It took overtime, but Zanesville joins Liberty Benton as the undefeateds in the Buckeye State. They hold off Cleveland Heights and beat 69-68.
That kind of looks like Uncle Moe's. Those Conn's tortilla chips look good. They always taste great.
They're not for sale. What's this?
1 bag of Conn's tortilla chips, please.
Again?
This is my house. 2 bags, please. Go.
2 bags?
I thought that was Uncle Moe's.
The sweet flavor of Conn's tortilla and a great price, too.
Medications sold over the counter can be as effective and as potent as prescription medications. The pharmacists at Northside Pharmacy are willing to help you choose the right medication, evaluating any possible interactions with your prescription medicines or other conditions. Whether it's our personal attention, our convenient drive-up window, our health touch system, or home delivery, we'll go the extra step. We're committed to making your life a little easier at Northside Pharmacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention is directed to the board where Don Elman and Leonard Jackson, Board Patrol members of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, will present the individual awards. At this time, we honor the team from Cleveland Heights High School as the 1995 Division I state runner-up team. As your name is announced, please come forward to receive an award. Jeff Johnson. Jason Lieberman. Coleman James.
It took 36 minutes of basketball to get it all decided, but when it was decided, Zanesville, Division I boys state champions this year in overtime, beat Cleveland Heights 69-68. Michael Regai, Bill Needle with you inside St. John Arena. And the Blue Devils are the state champs, and Billy, quite ironically, we talked about it. The last point scored in this 1994-95 Ohio High School basketball campaign, certainly that free throw that went off glass and down from Seth Martin, but Damon Stringer certainly maybe etched his name in the book for everybody to remember.
It doesn't go overtime without this play from Damon Stringer. With 17 in the fourth period, Damon Stringer goes up one-handed off the baseline. A tough shot with a running one-hander, sending it in. 20 points for Damon Stringer in the fourth quarter. Michael, Mr. Basketball will be back on this floor in different colored uniform from now on. But at the end of overtime, as Theo Dixon walks forward, here you see Jeff Johnson, number 3 guard, kick it out to the number 4 guard, Coleman James. And as the buzzer sounds, so dies the hopes of the Cleveland Heights Tigers.
They got it up near the hole, but they did not drop it down, and that let Zanesville wear the shirts. They just did it as right. State champions here in 94-95. So Jim Capoletti and his Tigers of Cleveland Heights bow out at 25-2 in the year. And Bill, ironically, they lost the first time they put the uniforms on in Gund Arena back in late November against Villa Angela St. Joe, and they fall the last time the uniforms are worn and didn't lose a one in between. Let's take a look at all the final numbers from this overtime affair that Zanesville won, and certainly Cleveland Heights got the 76 shots up, but normally more than 28 will drop for them in Jim Capoletti's offense.
25 of those 28 baskets, Michael, came on individual effort by Cleveland Heights players. Dropped down to the assist line. 15 out of 23 for Zanesville. That's good ball movement. That's good team play. 3 assists for Cleveland Heights and 28 field goals means that, yes, they may have individual talent, but they were not in sync as a group tonight against Zanesville.
21 Zanesville turnovers kept Cleveland Heights around with a chance to get it to overtime in the fourth. Jim Capoletti being presented the runner-up trophy by Assistant Commissioner Dick Termeer of the OHSAA.
It's 3 in a row. 93, 94, 95.
The Heights Tigers don't take the gold out of St. John in their third try, but they wind up as a exceptionally exciting runner-up. We'll be back and take a look at Zanesville getting the championship hardware in a moment on Sports Channel.
As the names announced, please come forward to receive an individual award. Sharon Singleton. Etienne Norris. Josh Olinger.
Get the skills you need to be your best with vocational training to rise above the rest. Prepare yourself for a lifetime. There's so much that you can do.
Prepare for an exciting career as an office professional in one of today's high-tech office settings.
Mideast Ohio Vocational School District. Education for a world of change.
Whiteside Auto Dealers' biggest 4-day celebration in history.
Huge rebates, discounts up to $7,000. Sale prices will be on the windshield, so you won't have to haggle.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Special financing, plus no payment till September.
That's right, no payment till September.
3 giant dealerships. Whiteside St. Clairsville, Bob's of Barnesville, Whiteside Cambridge. Hurry, sale ends Sunday.
I think in most people's minds, the least opportunity to win it would be these Zanesville Blue Devils. Everybody thought it would be a Westerville North Sean Stonerook, Cleveland Heights Damon Stringer finale. Didn't show up that way, nor did a champion come from either one of those two.
Michael, and that's why when they play with kids and the inconsistencies and the various aspects that make them kids, that's why the high school basketball tournaments are the purest form and the most exciting form of competition that most people get a chance to watch.
Scott Aaronhold coming out to accept the hardware. Boy, his ball club down 3 at the break, a 15-0 blitz to start the third quarter. They had to take a big hit in the fourth, but they wavered, they teetered, but they never lost it. Now let's listen to Dick Termeer give Zanesville the hardware, signifying D1 champs.
I don't think it could be any sweeter than this. What a basketball game. Congratulations, guys. I'm not going to hold you up anymore. Champs 1995 Division I.
$1955 it happened. State championship for Zanesville. Oh, way back in 1926 it happened. And now the improbable ride that ends in a state championship in 1995 for the Zanesville Blue Devils. We've crowned 4 champions today. It started this morning with Findlay Liberty Benton with their ride through a perfect campaign with their victory over Springfield CC in Division 4. Orville's Red Riders, strong performance today. They come away by beating Wheelersburg to win the Division 3 crown. Cleveland Villa Angela St. Joe pretty much all over Cambridge in D2. And then this finale tonight, this was the best of the bunch and a fitting conclusion to the high school campaign.
Michael, these young men, they say they're kids, but within the context of being young men, they are even young men. Because Liberty Benton, a senior-dominated team, but still returning 3 of their starters. But in Division number 3 with Orville, they start 4 juniors and a sophomore. You wonder about their road back to Columbus come March of 1996. And then in Division 2, Ted Kwasniak and the Vikings of Villa Angela St. Joe have 11 juniors and a sophomore on their squad. They have a tradition of coming to Columbus in March. You wonder what lies ahead for them on the tournament trail a year from now. And Zanesville, who came into this game undefeated, loses only Slade Galloway, their three-point man, off of their starting lineup. They return a junior backcourt of Edwin Young and Cedric Hall. They return big David Houston, the big man in the middle for the Blue Devils, and Seth Martin, who is simply one of the top sophomores in the Buckeye State. He'll be back as a junior next year. May have been a game of young men, but this Saturday at St. John Arena, it was young men that made it happen.
And haven't we seen so many just terrific underclassmen all weekend long here at St. John Arena, which bodes extremely well, as you just talked about, and some of the guys we haven't mentioned for this entire Buckeye State coming back in 95, 96.
The Zanesville Blue Devils actually did lose a game this year, Michael. Lancaster beat them in game 15 of the regular season, 77-76 in double OT. And it turns out that Lancaster used an ineligible player. The score reads 2-0, an undefeated season for the state champion Division I Blue Devils of Scott Aaronholt and Zanesville High.
Yeah, it'll go in the book forever that way, 26-0. They got 4 in double numbers tonight, paced by Slade Galloway, who hit 5 threes on his way to 17. Edwin Young had 16 and 11 assists. Seth Martin added 12, and certainly the balance was there. Cedric Hall had 11. Damon Stringer, 20 points in the fourth quarter, had 28 to lead Cleveland Heights. Larry Moore had 11. Theo Dixon fouled out with 12. Bill Needle, has been a pleasure as always. I know it's a labor of love for you. Excellent job last week, too, as you worked it here courtside at St. John.
You make it easy, Michael. Always a pleasure on my end as well.
And we'll hopefully do it for many a year to come. That's going to wrap it up inside St. John Arena on this final Saturday of basketball on the boys' side here in the Buckeye State. Zanesville's Blue Devils in overtime beat the Cleveland Heights Tigers 69-68 to claim the Division I state championship. The executive producer of basketball on Sports Channel on the Ohio High School side is Stephen Liverani. This contest this afternoon and this evening has been produced expertly by Drexel Yokoyama. Our director tonight, John Nakauchi. Facilities provided by our good friends at Coaxial Sports. Tremendous effort on their part. And the rest of our talented crew out of St. John. So now for all the names you will see roll by your screen, and for my partner, Bill Needle, I'm Michael Regai once again saying hope you've enjoyed a day long of hoop frenzy inside St. John Arena. 4 division champions have been crowned. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of Sports Channel. Till next year, for all inside St. John, good night, everybody.